Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. All right guys, we're starting the election week. Lot going on this week. A lot of earnings, FOMC decision, election results tomorrow night, and first trading day after election on Wednesday. So we are ready for this week. Today was mostly a base hits kind of day. I had a system outage, so I was out in and out of the community. But anyways, it was a base hit kind of a day. There were few losers. Bunch of winners. There were nice news bot alerts in the community. But SPY QQQ gave us a really good trades in the first 1 hour, so we're going to discuss that as well. So before I start, just a quick introduction to anybody who's new to me, new to my YouTube, new to my Twitter X, or new to the community. I've been doing these trade recaps and teachings for more than a year and a half, and you can find all these recaps and other webinars on my YouTube and learn a lot, especially if you are a day trader, swing trader, and also a lot of webinars on investing as well. So we trade a repeatable system. My repeatable system, thousands of traders across the world use to trade consistently. High probability trading system which trades with the trend. We avoid big losers, and winners are usually big. So anyways, every morning me and my team, we create a game plan for our community, and I also tweet out this game plan sometimes on the Twitter as well. This was the game plan for today. You see the news, and we have earnings, news, upgrades, downgrades, and we differentiate different kind of setups that we're looking at. It was a bunch of news today, a few earning plays that we will discuss, and we also provide every day in the community something called the daily levels, which help a trader trade the marketplace, the big seven, the big seven stocks in the stock market. You can see that how we use the levels, resistance pivots, support pivots to trade those. We also provide crypto related levels for the stocks that move with crypto. In addition to that, we also have a strategy called day 2 day 3 strategy. That's a strategy that I did a free webinar on. I did a free webinar on Twitter as well. So those are our day 2 day 3 strategies. Some decent movers on day 2 day 3. I will cover them as well. Especially if you're in community, make sure you watch our top day 2 day 3 setups, which especially in the earning seasons, usually they make a move next day. So those are our day 2 day 3 setups. I'm usually on voice first few hours of the market open. If there's a lot of happening in the market, I'm usually on all day. Then we have our trading floor where hundreds of traders all day are sharing trade ideas with the repeatable setups, and I also put it out in the alerts tab, any guidance on any market comments, any good trades, any setups as well. So I'm going to show you my timestamp comments there as well. In our community, we have a bunch of scanners, we have news bots, we have option scanners, we have stock scanners, we have a bunch of tools that are worth like $500-600 a month that we have free in our trading community. We are not a signal or alert service. We are a community of traders which work together to find opportunities in the stock market and trading with a repeatable system, repeatable setup. There's a bunch of the webinars and presentations in my community if you guys want to learn that. Anyways, let's start with today's recap. We're going to first discuss SPY and QQQ trades, how we traded this morning. There was a lot of volatility in the SPY and the QQQs. There's a webinar on SPY QQQ trading that I did a while back on Twitter, and it's also in the community. So this morning, every day, SPY and QQQ, they have a personality, right? You have to, based upon that personality, you have to decide what you want to do at the open. So this morning, as you see, SPY had rejected the 1 hour MTF Clouds on Friday, and it faded since then. So today, this morning, we were bearish. So we were bearish. If I go to the 3-minute chart, I will show you that what SPY was doing. So we were bearish to start the day on SPY QQQ. Same thing on both SPY and QQQ. So we do what is we call as our morning amateur move trades, and I just did a tweet on amateur move. The first move is amateur move, and then comes the trend move. So we try to find the opportunities in those moves in SPY QQQs, and then we look for any trend move. So as soon as the market opened, we were bearish on both SPY and QQQ. You can look here at 10-minute charts. Might be a little more clear for you guys. And you see this big candle. So that big candle was, over a couple dollars move on QQQ, and also that big candle was a couple dollar move on SPY. So as soon as market opens, I tell everybody that you can scalp QQQ puts. QQQ was kind of failing before SPY, and you can scalp SPY puts as well. You can see there, scalp the amateur puts. So as you see, the SPY, the first 10 minutes faded from 486.50s to 484s. This is our MTF. This is our daily MTF cloud. I just need to see what cloud it is. If I can check here, let's see if I can see that. So these are daily 50 EMA clouds, right? So there are 50 daily 55 EMA. That's our MTF clouds. So you can see that how it pulled into the MTFs, right there it pulled into the MTFs. So that was our first short, right? You can see that, you short it. If you have 10 put contracts, they're going 30, 40, 50%. You scale out most, and once it tries to push back over the 10-minute clouds right here, this is where I told everybody that close the puts, right? Close any puts right here, and then look for the calls, right? So we talk about looking for the calls, and then you got the calls. So you got the calls right from here, from 34.50s. This was the call signal right into the MTF cloud. So that was a long, you see 486.92, 489. So that was another couple down move here, and that move came at 10 a.m. This is a 10 a.m. It's a repeatable concept that I teach again and again. So you see, you could short it. Of course, we are not investors here; we are traders, so we have to be fast. And even if you didn't trade that, that's fine. You did not trade that. And then comes this move, the long move, which you stop out as soon as the 512 broke. And I did mention that SPY QQQs SPY broke the 512 breaks right here. So you see, this is the breakdown, and this is where you can short, and then you can short all the way down here, again, the MTF target. You can see that I said that we will push to the MTF again. You can see that what I said didn't really push fully into the MTF, or we were close. So if I show you, we did a poll in the community. For morning short, not for everyone, but it was not bad. 10 a.m. calls, a lot of traders did that. That was, you see this one. But this midday short, most of the traders nailed it. It was easier setup because, again, you have to see what Apple is doing, Microsoft is doing, what the chips are doing. So that's a beautiful short, because your stops can be right above this candle right here, and you can fade it all the way down. Your target is around this area. So that's a big four-point move, and your zero DTs and every, they pay really well on this move. Really nice setup. So what I'm trying to explain to you, even though it's an inside day, right? You see that it was inside the Thursday, even though it broke out of yesterday's lows, but technically still we are in this one range of that one candle that we had on Thursday. So there's not going to be much range after that. Once it's bouncing, you have to get out. After that, it's just a waste of time. You cannot, right? The opportunity was this curl. Now if we broke out of the 1 hour MTF, we would have pushed higher, but we did not, and we rejected on these MTFs. You can see that right here, right? This is the big resistance that we have been rejecting from few days, and then it dropped back down, right? So you see, this is how you can use the MTF clouds for your targets and for your bounces. We don't do the bounce right here. You don't really need that. This is what I call a C minus. Yes, you can trade right here, and it's about to push at 10 a.m. This, if you do, it's a D minus trade. If you try to short and then go long here, risking the MTF, yeah, it can work, but it can also fall down. There's no confirmation that's going to push higher, and this 512 clouds gives you that confirmation, right? 512 EMA clouds on 10-minute, and then you can trade that. So you see that one setup down, one setup up, and the flush down. And you see that all the traders in my community know these setups. That's how they're trading those three different setups. So these are three different setups that I just showed you. It might be, for somebody new, it might take a little bit time, because this action can easily chop you. If you're shorting and you're not covering, you get squeezed. If you're long, you're not stopping out here, you will lose a lot of money. So our system tells us the pivot, pivot, right? So this is the pivot, this is the pivot, that's the morning amateur move. So hopefully that helped you. That's how we trade in the community. You can see a lot of traders did really well on these trades on SPY QQQs. You didn't really need to trade anything else that your target meets. So this is specifically for trading SPY Qs. Even if you're trading ES futures, it works the same way. So you can use that to trade. You can use that to trade your trade these setups, right? So if you look at ES futures, it's a little bit different, right? But it's still kind of respecting the same thing. But I would rather use SPY to trade these ES futures if you want to. And you can also, of course, you can trade SPX, which doesn't really have pre-market highs and lows. So you see the clouds a little further. So you can use SPY as your lead indicator to trade SPX or ES futures as well. All right, let's look at some of our other game plan setups that we had. Let's look at Marriott. Marriott Hotels was the earning plays, and there's the game plan on Marriott. So Marriott was where is it? Right, bearish bias to short the pops. So right away I see heaviness at the open. I say short it. But here's the thing, right? When you're trying to short something, if it does not really fall below the pre-market low print, you have to step away. So you see when I said short, and even if there was a guidance to short the pops, you can short this pop from 255, and the target was 250, but you still get $3-4. And it was not a home run, nothing like that. We stopped out of the rest when it occurred, but you have to have a good entry, and you have to cover at least half your position on that flush, and then you get out when it's pushing over right here, because you will lose all your money on your puts if you do not. So okay, so this was a great example of that short. We're going to cover another short here. So I'm going to look at here for CEG short, right? So if I'm looking at CEG short, which was also on our game plan, right here, long over MTF, short under it. So you see it never really pushed over the MTF, so it was a short. It doesn't look like much on the 10-minute candles, but if you see, it faded till 10 a.m., right? So that's a morning trade. So let's see what was happening, right? So on CEG. So CEG, you see that it did fade, from the 230, 33s to 224s, but it never broke down under this pre-market lows. So again, if you short the pops, you can cover here, and then it's curly, you can get out, because it's not confirming the all day fade, because we are looking for the all day fade, which we did not get, right? But regardless, it was a scratch in that case, right? So you don't have to add here, you don't add at the bottom. That's the biggest mistake you do, unless you see the pre-market lows really breaking down, right? So you see that we talked about the short in the pre-market game plan, and then it flushes, 224 was the target. Right from that area it's bouncing, so that's the pre-market low. So when it does this, you get out. Even if it's a small loss, you just get out, you don't stick around, and rest of the day the stock will do the same thing. So when you're buying a puts on a gap down, maybe it gives a day 2 short. If it's not breaking the pre-market lows, more than likely it's going to go sideways, and our short, all day short, is not going to work. If we trade the morning scalp short, that's fine. But so this is a big difference. I have more examples on my on other recaps and other timestamp recaps. You can see that when something breaks down, it's going to fade all day, and if it doesn't break, then you have to step away, right? So this is a great example of these two Marriott and CEG shorts. All right, so let's look at Tesla today. Tesla was a great trade guidance by Win today in the community. So let's see what it was doing here. As you see that initially Tesla was bearish, right? It was bearish. It was the amateur move was bearish. But as soon as it tried to push higher, so I'm not usually trying to buy here. That's a C- setup, but Win is pretty good with the tape reading and all that, very experienced trader. So he saw the wires come in, and he wanted to buy that, risking this 238 right here at this candle as soon as this candle finished, right? He called it out versus 238, and it started to push, and then I came in right when it started to push over MTF. So my idea to long was right here, your stops right here at 242s. You see the calls alerts coming in, and the stops were 242s. And then again, I think I tweeted about it as well. You see there's this gap. So there's this gap. So that has to fill, right? So you see that it filled the gap and then it rejected and faded. So if you're a trader, day trader, you long around here and you know your target is here. You can see that I talked about this resistance and then I talked about gap fill. So so that was the strategy how to trade that setup, right? As soon as it filled the gap, it came right back. So you know this is resistance. So you need to know that where the resistance levels are, where the targets are. So pretty clear. Tesla trade, if you're trading long here, that's a C minus. C minus means it's not high probability. It can fade back. If you're adding here, your stop is too far away. But it kind of worked out. It became a B plus and then it pushed into the gap. Beautiful guidance by Win in the community. Nice winning trade today. One of the good trades today in the community. So next one we're going to talk about is FRPT. So what was the plan on FRPT? Let's see. FRPT was on our game plan. FRPT earning plays, bullish bias to long, 135 was support, 138 was resistance. There was a nice daily breakout right at 145. So while I was busy with other trades, but you see the most important thing to see on FRPT is the power of the MTF clouds. MTF1, MTF2, that's a clear risk here. You can put your stops here and you see the big volume candle, then the 10 AM flag, then all day run. I was a little late to see that, but regardless, I did say long from the game plan as soon as 138 breaks, and it ran almost 10-12 bucks per share since my morning mentions, and then it broke the 512. This is where you exit, and then it faded a couple of points back down as well. So you see that how you can do, you see the daily chart using the MTF clouds, the Ripster clouds to trade it long all day long. Very profitable trade right from our game plan, earnings setup. Let's go to the next one. Let's look at NVO. So NVO was another one of our news plays that really didn't work for us. NVO was bearish under the clouds. Watch 512 curls. So I mentioned the short at the open, but the amateur move and trend move pulled back over, and that's where you stop out, and it didn't really work for us, and then you take a loss and move on, and it did not provide. And again, it went sideways all day. It couldn't even break the morning lows, so you know that it's not going to go anywhere. So NVO was kind of disappointing there today for us. So another one that was a short in the community was Taiwan Semiconductors. You can see that it's breaking the 1 hour MTF. I mentioned the short right in the morning because I gave the Taiwan Semi levels as well, 195, 196. And you say that once that level is gone, it's a short, right? And it traded all day since my mention. The chips were weak. We broke another daily MTF clouds here, 20 EMAs, and then it faded to 190, right? So it went into consolidation a little bit here. But if you had a good entry over 193, your patience paid and it faded to 190 for a beautiful short all day, and you get out right here at the 512 curls. So another one that was a short there, probably there's no options on these, but you could even if you short 20-30 shares, it doesn't really matter. This was Berkshire Hathaway, a Warren Buffett company. It was pretty heavy. I noticed it was a pretty heavy right at open. I said bearish bias as long as under MTF cloud. So that was our plan in the pre-market, and it flushed, continued to flush, went into consolidation phase and flushed another little bit more. Not the perfect setup, but the daily broke a big level, right? So you just have to have a good entry right at the open for that flush. So if I look at the smaller time frame, let's see what I can see here. Smaller time frame, you can see that it faded, bounced, and then slowly faded from all those levels, 442 to 437. Let's look at Roku today. So Roku, as you know, had earnings few days back. So Roku was a day 3 setup, always on a high watch, day 3, pushing over the MTF clouds. You can see that it's pushing over the MTF clouds, and then what it does was it's a good long as whenever something is pushing over MTF clouds on the day 2 or day 3. It kind of turned bullish yesterday over the 10-minute clouds, So that was a good long as well. Then it broke 512, you get out. So there was another one from the game plan today. It was FIS, bullish bias, but that didn't really work. You know, it was holding 512s, was looking a good long, then broke 512s, and you stop out right here, take a loss and move on. So you can clearly see the difference between FIS and you can see the difference in FRPT, the stock that kept running all day, and then the stock that you know, is failing, right? So you can see the difference. You could also short it, you know, when it's breaking MTF Clouds. So there was another play from the game plan, which was a short all day. That was Dow Jones. Sorry, not Dow Jones, Dow. It was removed from Dow Jones Industrial Average, bearish bias to short. Funny, Dow gets removed from Dow Jones, huh? I think it's a chemical company. So anyways, you see it faded all day. You're moving from Dow Jones is a pretty big for this company, and it faded like not a huge range, but regardless, it faded there. All right, let's look at some of day two runners. Again, I was not on the voice today at a system issue, but I couldn't guide on few of these setups. But TWLO was a really good, W was a really good. You see that how W faded yesterday, but today it turned bullish, right over 34.50. So those are the day two, day three setups that we have to focus on after the earnings and look at TWLO. So TWLO was exactly the day 2 day 3 setups that I talk about, and you can see that how it pulled, held and pushed over the yesterday highs. So these are the, I literally, you know, in my webinars, I show these setups. We have these, this is not the first time it's happening. It's again and again it's happened. These are repeatable setups which provide so much opportunity to trade, guys. You know, that's what I want everybody to see, the repeatable setups. That's what our community is about. Repeatable setups where you don't need anybody to hold your hands and you can trade on your own. All right. So anyways, that was about it today. Basic kind of a day. Tomorrow, another election day. Wednesday is going to be crazy. So very excited for the whole week. A lot of opportunities. If you want to trade with us, join the community. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.